Hey guys, I am having a little road trip today. I'm going with my parents to a city in Alabama, and one thing we're gonna do is I'm going to have the back of my iPhone repaired. This is an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Um, I used to work at the Apple store, so it's kind of an interesting experience for me to go back and be on the other side of it. And then while it's being repaired, my parents and I are going to see the Odyssey in IMAX, which is not IMAX is not available in our town. But I wanted to. I've been. I spent considerable time yesterday and today preparing for this Genius Bar appointment, and I used to work basically in the Genius Bar. I wasn't a genius. I was another role that handles mostly iPhones, and I also worked on the sales floor and taught the classes as a creative and worked at Apple Care, things like that. Um, but I wanted to first of all just say that the people who work at Apple stores are, even though that title of genius is sort of like weirdly present, um, they are geniuses. And maybe that's a hot take, but Steve Jobs said that the future is at the intersection of the humanities and technology. And, I'm going to see the Odyssey today and get my phone fixed, so it's kind of an interesting mix. But people who work at the Apple store, especially in the Genius Bar, are able to have social skills, and they're able to deal with very difficult people, and they're able to stay human, and they're able to solve. We haven't even gotten to the technical part yet. They're able to solve extremely complex technical issues that could be, I mean, some of them are cut and dry. Like, this is probably going to be cut and dry. They're probably just going to replace the back, but I noticed there's a little bit of a edge down here at the bottom that I don't know if that was there before, or if that was caused by my accidental damage. So, and there could have been some water that seeped in here. So what I'm expecting is I go in, I have Apple Care. Most people don't, and then I have a $29 replacement. Okay, well, if there's water in there, that's not gonna happen. Probably. It's not gonna be $29, even though I have Apple Care. That's part of the reason I'm doing it, is to prevent future water damage, which I just happen to know. Now, part of the extensive part of reducing the complexity is to do the administrative secretarial tasks that they're going to have to do for you. And so what you're supposed to do when you go in the Apple store is not just lay your phone down and be like, fix it. That they're supposed to finish your appointment in 15 minutes, and they're going to be juggling other people's appointments at the same time. So if you just do that, then basically it's kind of like going to a restaurant and being like, just choose for me and make it quick. So, and I want it to be cheaper. Can you give me a deal? So you would never do that at a restaurant. But people go in the Apple store and they're just like, entitled. And so they're under pressure. Who work there are under pressure from Apple as a corporation through managers and expectations, and they're under pressure from the customer. And so they're at the intersection. They're the actual people who are the human element of this company, this massive company with endless complexity. So, human and technological complexity. So, what you can do if you want to be a good little boy before you go in, is to download the Apple Support app, okay? And then follow the instructions it tells you. It's going to tell you to, you're going to describe the issue. You're going to choose from the choices, just push some buttons. It's going to walk you through it. It's going to ask you to back up your device, and you're going to have to reckon with that. Don't ask for someone to explain it to you. You know what a backup is now. And if you don't, you need to Google it and figure it out. Okay? That's not for them to figure out for you. You need to know your Apple ID password. I never know what my Apple ID password is, so I reset it again. I reset it every time. You need to know what your Apple ID is. You need to know your passcode, of course. You need to turn off Find My, the location-based thing. In my case, I had to turn off something called security delay in order to turn off Find My iPhone. And that required a 1 hour security delay. So if I went in for my appointment without disabling that, I would not have had my appointment. They would have had to reschedule me for another time, and I would not have gotten to see my movie. So, or I would have just abandoned the appointment and not had it done because I already bought the tickets for the movie. So you have to disable Find My the day before. I mean, basically just do it the day before, at least, just to make sure in case there's some issue. And you'll follow all those steps. I also last night, it asked me to run a diagnostic, and that was the link in the reminder text message it sent me. Oh, by the way, you want to schedule a Genius Bar appointment. Don't go in there unless you have an appointment. I mean, you can, but why would you? Why would you go in somewhere without an appointment and then have somebody on an iPad do the appointment for you? You have a device. You have a computer. If you don't, I mean, I don't know. But in most cases, make your appointment, okay? Don't go in there and be like, I need an appointment because I have this problem. It doesn't matter. All of that is systematic. You need to put it in, talk to the app, tell the app everything. It's gonna walk you through the steps. It's gonna have everything you need to know. I even went a step further than the app, and I looked up what the cost of the repair will be. There's with Apple Care and without Apple Care. So if I had this, there's like a little hole in the back thing. It's not even guaranteed that it's going to be that, but with Apple Care, replacing this back panel on my phone will cost $29 with Apple Care. Without Apple Care, it would have cost $159. Okay. So at that point, I personally probably would have made the choice. I definitely would have made the choice not to repair it. I'm going to get a really awesome piece of duct tape and just do it. But since I still have Apple Care for a few months, I want to take advantage of that and take advantage of that lower price, because this is a $2,000 iPhone. And we just throw them around like they're, just part of us, because we, feel very comfortable with them. But I want this piece of technology. I have it go up to 80%, and then it stops charging. And the reason I do that is in the settings to preserve the battery life. I try to charge it up when it gets down to 30%, and it stops charging at 80%, and that's to preserve the long-term battery life of my device. So I really just did everything I could think of. I really took the time to prepare. And I remember when I went in to buy this phone was the last time I went into an Apple store. And really, I very rarely go into an Apple store because it's almost like a sacred temple where I really have to justify it to go there. Because the people there are so busy and amazing. And so I have to go there with respect, is what I meant by a temple. Not the like cult like following of the company. It's real people in there that are really working hard and dealing with a lot. And I want to be reverent to that. But, um, what was I saying? Um, oh, last time I went in, okay, it's like in a shopping mall. Okay, I go in, and I have an appointment, and there's a guy standing up front, and he's this super cool. He looked like Black Panther, honestly. And he had this like cool like necklace, and he was like super like muscular, and he was like, he welcomed me into the store. I showed him my I said hello, and I showed him my QR code on my phone for my appointment, or basically my appointment to pick up my new phone. I had already purchased the phone, made all the choices online through the app, and scheduled an appointment to pick it up. So I didn't lean on anybody to do the research. I knew what I wanted. I had it purchased. They had it reserved. It's all systematic. I don't need a human being to explain what an iPhone is to me. If I did, then I should take one of the free classes in the store and not like just like talk to a salesperson all day. So anyway, um, I showed him my QR code. And he was like, "Oh wow, you're organized," and I was like, "Okay, yeah." No one does this. No one uses the Apple Store in the systematic way, the respectful way that it was designed to work. Apple has technological systems that nobody uses. Instead, they just lean on the human element. They want a human being to talk to. If you want a human being to talk to, go to the bar, go to your hairstylist, um, pay them, tip them well. No one in the Apple store is getting tips. They're probably not even getting paid very well, frankly. I know, I mean, when I started at Apple Care, I got $11 an hour plus 56 plus some change. So, and that didn't go up that much. And this was years ago, but I was working in New York and stuff like that. So, um, they don't get tips. They're having personalities just like, so oftentimes, one guy at an Apple store in Japan, in Kyoto, I think, he was super zen. I was helping my friend pick an iPad. He was just zenned out. And I was probably giving too much personality, but I was like curious and wanted to talk to him. He was just kind of zenned out because like he just deals with this all day, and I totally get that. So anyway, um, the guy at this Apple store, when I went to buy this phone, he was like, "Oh, you're organized. I really appreciate it. Having an appointment and everything." And I was like, "Oh, okay, it's still the same. Nobody prepares. Everybody's just like, oh, I gotta work. I'm busy. I'm busy." If you're busy, you need to do this more. You need to do more preparation because you're going to. It's like a game. From the moment you walk in the door, the amount of preparation that you've done to play this game is going to show. So he scanned my QR code. He said, "All right, head on back." They were like, "Oh wow, here's your beautiful iPhone." They literally said that. "Your beautiful looking iPhone." I was told a little story about how I used to work there. They're like, "Oh, blah 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 blah." They're like, do you want it? Do you need anything else? I was like, no. It's like, have a wonderful day. So I was in and out. But at the time, everyone was a little bit tense because the store was absolutely jam packed. Totally jam packed. And I noticed that and I just like commented on it. They're like, yeah, jam packed. Okay. Now, it would not be jam packed if people would prepare before they go in there. They treat it like Walmart, you know. I mean, this is the apex of customer service, essentially, where very complex intersecting systems are happening and humans are at the center of it. Be respectful, okay? So, I'll tell you how it goes today, but what I can say for myself is that I've done everything I can do to be respectful of their time, their effort, their energy, I'm reverent to them for their expertise, and you know, I've got the money ready, $29 plus tax possibly, and I have an appointment, and I've done the diagnostic, and I know my password. I even reset it. I backed up my device and made some choices regarding that, what I will back up and what I will not. And other things, like, I'm not even covering the whole list. I did my research. I've done everything I can do. I turned off Find My iPhone. I had to do a 1 hour security delay. That would have ruined the entire appointment day. Because I'm on a road trip to go to a big city, to go to the Apple store, have this repaired. I've planned it out. So hopefully, I expect that probably within a 3 to 5 hour movie range, they will be able to replace the back on this. If there's water damage, they'll just replace the entire phone probably. But I don't take that for granted either. I have no expectations. But I will probably be surprised. I mean, they may even be able to do it while I'm sitting there. Another choice I made is I made the appointment as early as possible. They open at 10. I wanted a 10 o'clock appointment, but I was trying to get 10:15 in the app, and it was like, oh, that's already been booked since you opened the app, right? So I got 10:25. I'm gonna be on time for that appointment, but not too early. I'm basically gonna walk in there, let's say 10:20. I'll just kind of hover outside, and that'll give me 5 minutes to have him scan my appointment and tell me where to sit. And they're gonna see on their iPad. They're gonna look on their iPad, and it's gonna say, "Backup's done. Find My iPhone. Diagnostics run. Here's the issue." And it's gonna make their day easier. And I'm gonna be respectful and nice, and I'm not gonna talk their face off. I mean, if you want to talk their face off, it's fine, but make sure it's positive, and make sure it's just sort of like your egoic, like, meanderings of your mind about your own story of life, and make it quick, because they got a lot of tables. It's like that Janine Garofalo quote when she works at Medieval Times and Cable Guy movie. Dude, I got a lot of tables, you know? So anyway, thanks for listening to this. I appreciate you for listening to this, because you've taken the first step to being a good boy.